All
Welcome back
right.
to Dicing with Death, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I think we left off right as I was about to kill Dogface.
Right as you were about to roll initiative, yes.
Oh yeah, initiative.
Perhaps we should get a new map. We're all cluttered with these random drawings and shit. Is there a limit to the number of pages you can have in Roll20?
As many as you want, I think. I don't really know.
All right, well, I guess we'll start a new one. I should make that map a reference for you, huh?
Mhm.
Oops. Alrighty. So, we got some water. So there's the water. Got a road somewhere over here. Actually, let's do something like that. Probably should have done this during the break, huh?
Yeah, whatever. Shit happens.
There's a cart. Let me copy a Quelnir. Okay. So there's Quelnir. Just kidding. That's Michelle. She actually is wearing a blue dress today.
Yes.
Um, oops. You can entertain the people while I draw, or not. You can just stare expectantly.
I'm staring expectantly. Well, no, I had the bad idea of browsing Imager a little bit during the break, and
It's a terrible idea.
I came across this disturbing image and all of its disturbing sub images in the comments. I don't even know what to do anymore. I need an adult.
I'll take a look in a second.
Make sure that Aaron's standing by when you do.
This can be our critter for now. And how do I find a man for Bates?
You can't find a man. You can't do it.
I found the perfect one. Oh, damn it, where'd he go? There we go. There's Bates. What the fuck is this thing?
Exactly. Exactly.
Which one do you think should be Bates? Do we need a straw poll to ask chat?
I say the guy with the horns coming out of his head.
Yeah, that was my first impulse.
Yeah. Bates
All right.
is fucking sketchy.
All right. So, let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay, here's my initiative roll. 10. How awful.
10. Including weapon speed?
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. The creature goes first. Actually, let me roll Michelle. Yeah. This would be a sad way for her to end, wouldn't it?
Yeah, don't let her die.
So the creature does catch up with her and pounces, but she sort of deftly sidesteps and continues running. You actually go before Michelle does.
Okay. I unleash my first dart.
So this creature stands. If it is a dog, it's a big fucking dog. It's probably 14. That's including all your new THACO bonuses.
Yeah, I get 2 for missile attack, 1 for level.
Actually, yeah, that's a hit.
Nice. That's going to be D3 damage. Size medium or size large? I should have asked this earlier.
What's the cutoff for size? So I was describing the size. It's probably about 4 feet tall at the shoulder. I guess maybe like 8 feet long.
4 feet tall. 8 feet
So that
long.
sounds like size large to me.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Pretty husky.
Yeah, it's like horse
Oh,
size
you don't want
almost.
it to be large, do you? Horse size? No.
4 feet. Well, horse's size large.
I mean,
is it like a
yeah.
big dog or is it like a small horse?
it's built like more like a thick, short dog, but it's hard
So it's
to
like
tell.
pony sized or donkey sized?
The sun setting behind it is sort of shimmering off of its slick skin. It's not really I mean, it's low to the ground. It's got shorter legs, so it's not built like a horse or a donkey or anything.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if it's roughly donkey sized, we could look up donkey in the Monstrous Manual and see how that relates to size. EFG.
You're trying to lawyer it down to a size medium? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. I was trying to do it without using the word lawyer. Horses. A pony is size medium. A mule is size medium. Horses are size large.
I'm actually willing to give you a size medium. I'm looking at it's not actually a dog, but death dogs are 6 feet long and size medium. What other critters do I have to compare it to? I'll give you a size medium.
Okay. Cool.
Seems like large.
2 damage.
Okay. And you actually, Michelle gets to go first, but you can go ahead and make your attack rolls. Her turn isn't going to affect yours.
Well, I only get 1 attack, and then everyone goes, and then I get my second.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Everyone has gone except
cool.
for you and your party members.
So
Large
14.
is larger than man-sized. 7 plus to 12 feet tall. It'd be a fat man, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I think some bears are actually size medium, aren't they? I mean, so
Yeah.
it's sort of like an elongated bear, maybe.
Then a 21, which is a natural 18. Does that clear by 5? That must clear by 5 because a 14 was a crit. It is a hit. The question is, does it clear by 10?
Wait, so what did you roll? The 21?
21.
It does not clear by. It doesn't need to clear by 10. It clears by 5. It doesn't.
Yeah, but if it clears by 10, it's a double crit.
It does not. This thing does not have AC 11.
Okay. 3
Your-
damage plus save.
These are your
versus death.
darts,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. 3
So
damage
how much
plus save
damage?
versus
The
death.
last one was how much damage?
2. So a total of 5. Or 2, 1, 2 if it has some sort of damage reducing.
So a total of
2,
5.
3, yeah. 2 and 3, so. How'd that save versus death go?
Good call. I believe that is a fail. You don't have saves on the
George
DM screen, do you?
I do.
Ooh.
Level 1 to 2 is 14. 3 to 4 is 13. 5 to 6 is 11. 7 to 8 is 10.
Yeah, it totally fails. So let's go ahead and roll. So you're doing small versus medium, so it's D6.
Yeah, D6, severity 2, no effects.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay, and then my last
so-
attack was a 5, which is a miss.
Yeah. So Michelle runs to the back of the wagon,
Mhm.
and that's where she ends her turn. Bates looks up, makes some Batesy noises, but doesn't do anything. Let's roll initiative.
8.
8. You do indeed go first.
Sweet.
So take your first attack.
9.
That is a miss. Okay. Michelle opens. Yeah, actually, she circled around the cart last round. My bad. The cart has doors on the sides. Oh no, but the luggage. There's a luggage compartment in the rear, so she's fumbling with her luggage. Yeah, she's behind you. You hear her rummaging, but she does not do anything that turn. Bates circles around to the other side of the wagon like the coward he is, and this
Coward.
creature moves up close to you. It smells like the sea, faintly,
It smells like
rotting,
the sea. We're
well,
at a
like
lake,
like
though.
rotting fish.
Okay.
It's got a flat, large face with a mouth full of terrifying teeth, big paws. Looks vaguely dog-like. Sort of got a long, almost paddle-shaped tail, sleek, wet skin, wet fur. Ooh.
Don't say it, Ryan. Don't say it.
It,
Don't say it.
how much life do you have?
I have 11 life. I have AC 15.
Mhm.
16 if it's a missile attack.
Let's go ahead and roll a save versus death. Ooh.
Fail.
Fail. Okay, it bats you with a massive paw for 6 damage. Let's resolve that critical. Its second paw misses.
Oh, shit. Hi guys, we are back. Sorry for the problem. Sorry for everything going down.
Neil
Bad
thought that
ISP.
plugging his internet mid-battle would save him from getting criticaled.
I'm not. Look, I've already been criticaled. I've taken my damage. I've taken my licks.
Okay, so this nasty lakefish dog has just criticaled you with one of its big fat paws. Do you mark the 6 damage?
I did mark the 6 damage.
And you're a lucky bastard, and it rolled a 2 on its severity. So,
Excellent.
despite bitch slapping you in the arm, nothing actually comes of it.
Okay. I still have 2 more attacks. Can I?
If you make them, it is in melee range. So if you make a missile attack from here, you'll provoke attacks of opportunity. Although you haven't moved,
I
right?
haven't moved, right?
So
And
you can slide backward 5 feet and make your attacks.
yeah, I'd like
Or
to back up.
Yeah, you'll need to. So you'll put your back to the wagon.
Yeah,
Is that acceptable?
yeah, right there. I take a few steps back and throw my other 2 darts.
All right, roll the hit.
5 and 17 for 2 damage. At this point, I would like to draw out Bloodletter and my other dagger.
Okay. All right. The creature sort of in pain as you sink a dagger into it. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
4.
4. You go first. Do you wish to close with the creature or delay your
Absolutely. I pull out both my daggers, leap towards the creature with a ferocious roar, and try to bury both of my daggers into it.
attack? Okay.
D20 plus 1. This is Bloodletter plus whatever magical bonuses may be involved in this. I can't really know. 12.
12. Bloodletter satisfyingly slips into the creature's hide
D4 plus
like a hot magic knife through butter.
D4 plus plus magic. 3 plus magic, and I don't know if I gain any HP from this. Please.
Okay, you see in the darkness the once pink gemstone glows a satisfying bright red, shedding light around you. The creature, as blood spews from its wounds, and you gain 2 HP.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. And then my non-magical dagger,
Oh yeah, you get both, right?
yeah,
If you do-
is a 20,
Yeah.
natural 19.
Um,
For 7 damage.
So
Woo!
that is a crit, not a double crit. That +1 is including your penalty for offhand, which is actually
Uh,
nothing, right?
which is no penalty because of my high dex.
And your dexterity. How much damage?
7, 4, and 3.
Motherfucker. Well, that wasn't very difficult.
Are you kidding? I almost died. I was so close to death. If it had hit me for another 6, I would have been dead.
Okay. Yeah. So you shove your second dagger into it, um, and the creature collapses uselessly at your feet.
I take a few moments and go, Michelle, are you okay?
You turn around. Yeah. Okay. She is brandishing a small crossbow. She's still pointed at the dead creature.
Where did you find that? I ask her.
Girl can never be too careful.
No, no. Well, good to know that you are not entirely unarmed.
She puts the crossbow back in her chest and closes it.
I looked to Bates and said,
And
Bates, did
sort
you
of
know about these creatures?
Walks hesitantly over to the creature. He sort of peeks. Actually, you don't see where Bates is.
I call out again, Bates! Bates?
Is it dead, my lord?
It's dead.
Shout.
Have you heard of such beasts before?
Bates sort of peeks tentatively around the side of the cabin. Michelle hesitantly walks towards the creature and sort of gives it a prod with her bare foot.
Mm-hmm.
And says, Dobar Chu.
Excuse me?
I thought these were just creatures of legend.
Dobar Chu?
She nods. Says, vicious fish dogs of the lakes.
Well, we should get in our
In most of the stories, they attack lovely young maiden while they're bathing or washing or equally sexy things. She
maiden.
walks down to the lake shore to collect her shoes.
I walk with her, daggers drawn. I chuckle internally over the maiden aspect of that. And I, once she gets her shoes, I want to head back to the wagon. Tell Bates to drive on, and I want her to tell me the legend of these fish dogs of the lake. I want to hear this
Okay.
legend.
She recounts an enthralling tale of a young wife doing her laundry by the lake, and her husband hears a scream and comes to find her missing, and the tale of the giant dogfish disappearing into the lake.
Okay, but there's no.
She doesn't really recount any more exciting information other than there.
Okay.
Yeah, semi-aquatic creatures, half dog, half fish that live in the lakes around here, and
Interesting. And when was the last time these things were seen?
last time I thought they were a legend.
There's nothing in the legend that speaks to them coming with certain events. No, they're present during this time of year, or they're present during this reign of a king, or during, there's no other information regarding these legends.
No. I mean, they're not unintelligent beasts.
Hmm. Interesting.
Okay. So you've left the body alone, got back into the
Yeah.
wagon immediately, and fled.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get maybe 10 minutes down the road, and you hear sort of ungodly.
Bates, drive faster.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. Um, I want to get to town tonight.
Yeah, that's about that. No other encounters
Good.
on the way
Good.
to town. Yep. So a few hours after dark, you pull into another small farm town, hamlet.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the logo for these pages that woman?
It gets really broken. Roll 20 could use some improvements. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Yep. So this town is actually along the edge of the lake. If your map would hold true, it's sort of a crossroads, but you can't. It's dark when you get into town.
This place is called Ashloch.
Um, that label is where you see it.
Okay. Yeah. So
So yeah, you can't really. Yeah. So you pull into town. The first inn is along the water's edge, sort of attached to the docks.
oh no, I tell Bates to go find us a different inn.
Fair enough. So you are able to find another inn on the other side of town.
Uh-huh.
This, yeah, takes you another few minutes or so. It sort of sits at where three roads meet, and it's sort of at that intersection there.
Okay.
The tavern is still somewhat lively. Like they are maybe a dozen or so people.
All right.
You are able to find an inn room.
Excellent.
Let's call it 2 silver. Do you want a meal as well?
Yes, we'd like meal and drinks to go with it. Thank you very much.
You buying for everyone?
I'm buying for me and Michelle.
Okay.
Any more silvers for that?
Yeah, let's make it 3 silver
Okay.
for Michelle's meals and a few drinks.
Excellent.
Bates disappears once again. Yeah, anything you'd wish to do that evening, or shall we?
I wish to
Right.
speak to the innkeeper about this strange dog creature that came from the lake. I explain what I saw. I do not recount the battle, but I just explain seeing the creature.
Yeah,
And I ask for
his
details.
eyes widen with excitement, and he smiles and just says, the legendary Dobar Chu.
The Dobar Chu. Tell me about the Dobar Chu.
At first he seemed more excited to hear your recounting of the creature and a description.
I'm writing this down. Dobar Chu. Okay. Yes, continue.
So he seemed more interested in having you recount your sighting of it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell him?
I tell him that I saw the beast and it came towards us and attacked me and my wife while we were in our carriage. Well, while we had stopped to repair a wagon wheel, and that I managed to fend it off with a dagger. Bravely with a dagger, yes.
Quit pulling my leg. Usually takes half dozen men armed with pole arms to take one of those things down, if the legends are to be believed.
Well, maybe this was a small one, or maybe legends embellish the fact. Or maybe I'm just a mighty warrior. One way or the other, I slew the beast. But tell me of its origin stories, of its legends.
He tells a similar story to the one Michelle had told you
Mm-hmm.
of this time an old woman washing your pots down by the lake. The creature shows up and, yeah, gobbles her whole, pots and all. And, yeah. He asks you what its feet look like.
You know, I did not stop
They have-
to
They
inspect
have
its
giant
feet.
orange webbed feet, like a duck, and a fish's tail.
Do I know either of these?
And you
No. I
You're
say
like,
I did not stop to
"Nah."
inspect the beast. I fled as soon as it had stopped breathing.
It's a shame. Is the body still out there?
It is, if you will go for it. But beware, as we pulled away, we heard the strangest baying ever.
Horrific screech.
I mimicked the sounds that I heard.
Mimic them, mimic them.
Actually, I have no idea what. I can't remember how you.
He says, I always imagined it sounded more like.
Now that you mention it, that sounds about right.
Okay, so he appears to be a. What you call them? A Dobarchu aficionado? A believer? Anyways. So some of the locals are also interested to hear your tales, and they have a few of their own.
Okay. At first, I kind of like try not to make a deal out of it, but after getting some like extra attention, and Qualnir goes, "Yeah, you know what?" And he gathers everyone around at some point. It's like, "All right, everyone, let me tell you the story for all to hear at once, so I don't have to tell it over and over again." And then I tell it in a dramatic fashion,
Okay.
My
You
wife,
get a few
Michelle, was-
sentences in before Michelle interrupts, says no, 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 and like corrects some minor detail.
Mm-hmm.
How do you play it off?
I said, "Well, dear, if you do
You appear
recall,
to be slightly hesitant. So she sort of steps up and starts continuing the story. You see, it happened like this.
This is actually even better. I kick back with a drink, and I listen to her recount the tales of my heroism. I make sure that if
you
she...
you actually do sound quite heroic. Although yeah.
what?
And she tells a very compelling story. And you're like, damn, I'm actually sort of glad I let her interrupt me. However, at the very end, instead of you doing a finishing blow, she kills it with a shot from her crossbow.
I chuckle and say, "Dear, I believe your crossbow came out at the very end, only after I had felled the beast."
She gives you a sneer, but yeah. So the crowd is enamored with her story, and yeah. Otherwise, the night is uneventful, unless you have anything you'd wish to do.
No, I just... I want to make sure that either she mentioned my name in the story, because I'm getting a little cocky, This is probably a bad move for me in the long run, but Qualnir, the Dobar Chew...
She did not mention your name.
Okay. I won't...
I'm
not going to mention it.
You can find a way to casually let them know who you are.
No, I'm not going to. Because at one hand, I want to be known as the Doba Chew Slayer of this region and be famous for it, but on the other hand, Qualnir's still like, yeah, we should be keeping low and not dropping my name. I've been using my real... But still, he's kind of conflicted about whether or not to actually drop his name, so he keeps quiet for a little while. Oh, that's right, low willpower, absolutely. No, yeah,
I mean,
4
you can play
willpower.
however you want.
I keep forgetting I have 4 willpower. No, Qualnir immediately, says, "Well, let it be known that Qualnir is the mighty Doba Chew Slayer of this region. Tell all your friends."
Yeah. Some of the people seem surprised that you didn't skin it. Their pelts are supposed to be fantastic, especially in the cold, rainy weather.
I wish I had known, but this is the first I had encountered or heard of such a beast. And my wife was afraid, so I needed to protect her. I look at her as I say this, mockingly.
She sort of rolls her eyes.
Why would she roll her eyes? She was afraid. She was afraid. She ran screaming. Okay.
All right. Well, that is that. You go to sleep, I assume.
Yes. Yes.
Uneventful. Um, you share a bed with Michelle again.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't curl up on the far end of the bed, but
Whatever. I still make no move.
yeah.
I consider her a business partner for the time being.
And yeah, you wake up the following morning. Michelle's still snoozing away.
Okay. Um, I go downstairs, see to everything that needs to be seen to, and if she doesn't wake up like 10 minutes after I go down, I go up and wake her.
Yeah, I mean, she eventually comes
Okay,
downstairs.
good.
Bates pulls the car around again. Um, yeah. So you are. This inn is. I mean, at a crossroads. There's only a couple of buildings here. There's a dock right next to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
A few shops, but it's pretty small town. Anything you wish to do, or do you just
No.
head on out?
I do not wish to stay here. I wish to leave as soon as possible. Well, you know what? I say to Bates, Bates, do you have any other spare wagon wheels?
I do not, my lord.
Perhaps you should go into town and fetch one so we do not break down on the road again.
A capital suggestion, my lord.
Thank you. Michelle and I will amuse ourselves in town. Meet us back here when you are done and ready to go. And then I go up to Michelle and I say, because we're in public, I put my arm around her waist and say, well, darling, we have some time here while Bates fetches us a new wheel. What shall we do?
What did you have in mind?
I kind of peruse about. Tell me, Brian, did I see any? What sort of inn were we staying in? Was it a nice one? Was it a crappy one? What was the clientele like last night? Most importantly.
It it was pretty working class. You don't imagine though that this town has wealthy clientele. Yeah,
It's just too small, or what?
yeah. I mean, it's just a small town and mostly farmers and fishermen.
Well, I say to her, I didn't see any marks worth a note last night. Did you?
A few merchants, perhaps, but
Did
no,
you get
this
their
is not where
names or their?
fortunes are meant to be made.
No, but we have some time to kill.
Sure, yeah.
Do you?
I
Why don't we follow me? And I take her by the hand and lead her to the bartender. And I say, bartender, we're waiting for our men to replace the broken wagon wheel. Tell me, where's your finest shop in this town? My wife and I do love to browse the wares.
Bartholomew's has some nice trinkets and that sort of thing in his general shop along the docks. If that's what. Yeah,
I'd love that.
yeah. If
And,
you're looking for a gift for your wife, that seems.
we
like a
are,
good
and
place.
maybe some nice new clothing for her if you have any such places here.
It's that's probably a good place to start.
Okay, well, let's go to Bartholomew's and give him a polite nod, and we head out.
Okay.
We go to Bartholomew's.
Okay. Bartholomew is sort of a short, beardy man with a large grin. Yeah, it's sort of a shop full of various oddities. I mean, you call it a general store. It has all the sorts of things you'd expect, but it also does have an assortment of fine furs and jewelry and yeah, that sort of thing. What are
Okay.
you looking to do?
I, as we walk in and kind of walk around, I want to make note of any fine jewelry that I think might be accessible. Clearly
Um,
it's not just like sitting out in the open for me to pick up.
Yeah,
But
there's a few nice pieces behind in a glass case.
Um,
behind the counter.
I, I take my wife.
There's a few trinkets sort of hanging on the wall, but nothing particularly valuable.
We walk around for a little bit, and then I pull her aside and say, "So, which of these pieces of jewelry do you want the most? I can get it for you to keep. It will be your own."
Jewelry says, I it's been growing a little chilly since you deprived me of my Dobar Chew pelt. Perhaps you should secure me another fur coat.
My dear, you did not ask for a pelt. Were you to ask, I would have complied.
I didn't know I wanted it yet.
Well, you shouldn't blame me for that. Find a coat and point it out to me, subtly, and we shall get it.
Okay, so she sort of browses his furs. Um, uh, there's a fine white, pure white, like I don't know, shawly thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the names of these, and she sort of gives you a meaningful look when she's touching it.
I nod and kind of usher her onward to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, okay, so where is this fur in location to the glass cabinet with jewelry?
It's sort of in the middle of the room on like a rack with a couple other pieces of clothing.
Okay. So I move close to her and whisper into her ear. So we're very very close. No one can overhear. Would you bring that man, that shop owner, to our side of the counter? Maybe I tug her shirt down a little bit. Maybe show a little cleavage and have him inspect that jewelry for a few minutes. Meet me back at the inn.
So the fur is on the customer side of the counter.
Right. I want the shopkeeper to come around to the customer side of the counter and then look towards the glass counter, so his back would be to us. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. So she goes and leans on the counter, and
I try and get him to come around and use her as a distraction.
You're standing there with her.
Okay. I don't have anywhere to draw this, so
This doesn't necessarily seem like it needs to be drawn.
All right. In the lower left-hand corner, if this is the red thing's the shop, and the coat is the circle, and the jewelry is the square, I want them to be facing the jewelry. And if this is the door, then I will come in, steal, and go back out.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, so the jewelry is actually like back there.
Okay, even better.
But she leaned against the table and drew him out. But you were saying like you're standing next to her.
No, while she's doing this, I'm kind of like just pacing around the shop.
That's what I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, okay. I just pace around the shop, and then when he's next to her and they're both looking down, and she's like, hopefully flirting with him or somehow distracting the poor man. I would like to just
adequately distracted.
Okay. Grab the fur. Does it look like a particularly feminine fur coat, or could it be worn by anyone?
It's like it just like sort of covers the shoulders and neck.
Excellent.
It's like a fur shawl. It's
cool.
Pure white.
Then while they're doing that, I will slip on the pure white coat or shawl and just walk out.
Okay. So not even really trying to conceal it, just sort of playing it off cool.
Yeah. Just if I walk out, someone would think that perhaps I bought it.
Okay.
But
no one stops you.
Okay. I walk out, go a little bit, take it off, kind of tuck it under one arm, pull my cloak in front of me, and then walk back to the inn.
Okay. All right. You're followed a few minutes behind by Michelle.
Okay. When we get there, I present it to her.
She puts it on without a word of thanks.
Well, so be it. I guess at this point, then we just wait for our driver to come back with the wagon wheel.
Yeah, sure. Quality of distraction, 7. Quality of cleavage, 17. All right. So, yeah, Batesy finishes up his errands and meets you up front. Like late morning.
Okay.
And you all head out of town.
Yep. Hop in the wagon and head out of town.
Do you say anything, or you just let Bates lead the way, assuming that he knows where he's going and where you're going?
Yeah, I just once again remind him that we're headed, and that's it.
Okay, so you do, yeah.
Yeah. To Seagate, Sir Bates.
Yeah. So you take the north road out of town, which just continues along the river,
Mm-hmm.
in the direction of the river. Um, yeah, the roads seem a little more empty.
That's fun.
You travel along the edge of the river. Yeah. So you push through most of the morning. Eventually you sort of catch up and surpass another wagon. That sort of takes a little doing. Sort of a
Okay.
big, heavy ox-drawn cart full of merchant wares.
How well? Nah, fuck it. I leave it be.
Qualnir, robber of fish. So you pull around that. There's some foot traffic. A horseman rides from the north.
Rides from the north. I take a look at his clothing. Any sigils? Any signs?
You do see the sigil, or it's a teal sigil of looks like a ship.
Teal sigil of a ship. I ask Michelle what that is.
That looks to be perhaps a herald of Lord Seagate. That's his sigil.
Excellent. You are ever so useful, my dear. I'm quite glad to have you with
I
me.
know.
All right. I do not stop the wagon. We keep going.
Yeah, don't even take a break.
No, I mean, if we have to stop for lunch, we stop for lunch. But
Yeah, or give the horses a rest or something around midday.
yeah,
Yeah, so that happens unless you.
no, we can continue at a normal pace.
Okay. So it starts to get towards evening. Sun sets a bit in the sky. There's another arched bridge right about there.
Okay.
Stone bridge with a road road crosses the river.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the sun's starting to set. Bates turns to you and says, "Shall we ride through to town, my lord?"
Yes, we shall.
Okay. So you travel another couple of hours before reaching town, but you eventually make it there uneventfully.
Okay.
You wish to grab an inn room in this
Yeah,
this town here.
I do.
Shall out another 3 silver.
Okay. This is. I tell Bates, good sir, you have taken us, or Master Bate. We have taken. You've taken us here for as intended, and I appreciate your services.
This is
This is
okay.
not Seagate.
No, my lord.
Oh, I thought Seagate was a town after Ashloth.
No, my lord.
Well, my mistake. Tut tut. Where are we then? Base?
We're probably still another day from Seagate. So.
My map does not show a town between Ashloch and Seagate.
Would you like me to inspect your map, my lord?
I would.
All right. So you show him this. He says, "Ah, yes, Seagate is not on this map, my lord."
I see.
It'd be right about here, and he sort of gestures somewhere off the map, off the edge of the map.
Well, my mistake. What
Yes,
filthy
yes.
little peasant town is this then?
I do not know the name, my lord.
Well, probably should stay that way then. Come now, let us. We will leave in the morning, I guess. Yeah, farewell. Fare thee well. And Michelle and I make for the inn.
All right, yeah. So you already had paid, I assume.
Yeah, you said 3 silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Anything
comment
you
to
wish
her that travel makes me weary, and I grow tired of this traveling. I can't wait for something more interesting. I say to her as I kind of peer around the room and kind of nudge her a little bit.
She nudges you back. I sort of like the feel of the open road, although I could do with a finer bed.
So could I, actually. Kind of stretch my back a little bit. And I asked the innkeeper if we have the very finest room in the inn, or if they have a nicer.
All the rooms are the same, sir.
Of course. And I take it the fleas are complimentary.
His eyes narrow at this. He doesn't respond.
I guess we sup, and I keep my eyes open for anyone that looks to be of means, or like they might be a decent merchant that might have some meaningful wares.
There's a few people that are cleaner than the rest. Certainly nicer clothes. Like they don't look like working class, but no one looks exceedingly wealthy.
Okay.
Michelle fetches her that smaller case that she'd carried,
Mm-hmm.
And opens it up and
In the room or in the common room?
in the common room and pulls out a small harp and proceeds to play.
I take a few steps back, like move a table over to kind of leave her be alone, and kind of I watch people's reactions to her playing.
So she starts with sort of a beautiful, haunting, sad song, sort of flowing, singing over the top of it in a language that you don't understand. Do you have read languages?
I have reading and
0%.
writing.
No, like the thief skill.
Oh, 0%.
Yeah. So in a language that you do not understand or you do not recognize, it almost. I mean, if you weren't an elf, you would almost be able to confuse it for. I mean, there are elements that sound like Elven, but it's clearly not Elven. And that's sort of like she stops and the whole like the floor. It feels like the floor of the inn just drops out. Everyone's like, oh, oh, and then she picks up a lively little country song that everyone seems to know, and proceeds to play for the evening.
Okay.
At least not at least for a little while.
Yeah.
She seems to ignore the crowd and mostly be entertaining herself.
Okay. I watch the crowd, make sure no one gets too friendly.
They keep a respectful